Welcome to the DO Boxing Show. I'm your host, Dameon Okposio, and thanks for tuning in to another episode. In this episode, we're going to just talk about marketing, and I want to go a little bit more in depth when it comes to people getting themselves out there. Now, with social media, it is virtually doesn't cost you anything if you want to do the bare minimum in terms of getting yourself out there, which I've said before, and I still believe it to be very true. If you want to make money as an amateur boxer or as a professional boxer, either way, whether you decide you're going to be selling something, you need to get yourself out there so that people know who you are. And there's going to be pros and cons that come with it. The pros is when you go in to sell yourself, whether it's for a company, for sponsorship, or to get work, or to collaborate with maybe a business to get you some support. Number one, they're already going to know who you are. They're going to see your resume. If you post your fights, they're going to know about your experience. So you've already laid a lot of the groundwork. And then it's not going to be so much of a lengthy process of developing a relationship so much as it's going to be what's your plan, so you can kind of get to the meat and potatoes. On the other end of it, you know what, there's always going to be jealousy and people thinking that who are you to put yourself out there. Well, there's methods also of putting yourself out there. If you get someone to put yourself out there, whether it's a friend, relative, manager, agent, always looks better than you putting it out yourself. When you put stuff out yourself, yeah, it looks narcissistic. It looks like you're showing off, and in certain instances, if you don't have somebody else that can do it, that is what you have to do. I do it for myself all the time. I don't have somebody managing me to put this stuff out. I put it out myself. And then whatever, me personally, I don't really care about criticism. So you have to have tough skin if you want to be able to reap the benefits of, on the other end, of getting the sponsorship and being able to break down the doors, having those meetings, having people know who you are. In this day and age, it is easier than ever, it's cheaper than ever, but also don't forget there's a lot of scams going out there. So you really need to have a presence so that people know when you're going to approach them for whatever it is, whether it's sponsorship, money, assistance. They want to know that you're the real deal, not just somebody that's coming to them, going to take their money and not do anything with it. The other side of marketing is, once you've gotten that money, what do you do with it now? How are you providing value for the people that do sponsor you? How are you providing a return? How are they going to know? Again, it continues on with you putting yourself out there, documenting what you're doing, and having it on display so that those people can check out what you've done with their resources. And the good thing about that is if you've made the most of what someone has given you, they're likely going to give it to you again. So I'm trying to be very inclusive of both amateur and professionals in terms of giving the advice, and that's why it's somewhat vague. But you know what? If you have a specific question with regards to marketing yourself, again, send it to me either through Twitter at DOKPOSIO or through email okposio@hotmail.com. Boxing is not just the fighting aspect, not if you're trying to make a living at it. There's a business aspect of it as well. And if you want to be successful in the overall game of boxing, you have to focus just as much on the business side of it as you do on the physical and athletic side of it. Again, my email, okposio@hotmail. And you're going to see it in the next segment as well, my contact information. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Remember, you can subscribe through Dameon Okposio on YouTube to get every episode of the DO Boxing Show. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.